Hi guys, today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic, which is chords, and that's going to be part of a series of videos I'm going to make about how chords work. In other words, harmony, which is called harmony in music. In this video we're going to talk about 4 chords, the most important and most used chords, which are I'm just going to write here chords, the major, the most important of them all, then the minor, also very important, and then the diminished and the augmented. That is actually an augmented 5th chord, but we're just going to call it augmented. We're just going to play an example of each. This is the major chord, in this case is C major. Then we have a minor chord, in this case is an A minor. We have, for example, a diminished chord, which in this case is the diminished B, and we can also play an augmented chord, which is actually an augmented 5th, in this case based on C. Before we carry on, we need to understand one concept that perhaps is well known by most of you, but we're just going to explain just in case somebody don't know about it, and is about how to measure the distance in between the notes. There is one thing which is called interval, which is the distance in between the notes, but I want to keep it simple. I want to assume that many people don't know about intervals, and we're just going to go and take the minimum units of measurement in between the keys, which is the semitone, or also known as a half step. Because I'm recording this in UK, I'm going to go for the concept of semitone, and also because it's less confusing, I think, and on the other hand, it's going to be easier for me to abbreviate semitone by using the S. So from now on, the minimum distance between 2 notes is an S. For example, from here to here, there is nothing in between. That is an S. From here to here, there is nothing in between. That is an S. From here to here, well, this is not a semitone because there is one note in between. That has another name, but we don't care about that. But we're not going to use that what we call a tone or a whole step. The first type of chords we're going to be looking at is going to be the major chords. Major chords have a structure of 4 semitones and 3 semitones. When I say 4 semitones, I'm going to explain now. For example, we are going to build the most common C major chord, and that's going to be by using this structure. If I count from here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, I have that E is part of a C major chord, and if I go from here 3, I go 0, 1, 2, 3, so it's 4 from here and 3 S or semitones from here. That has got G. So a C major chord would be would consist of C, E and G. For example, we're going to play it, and it really sounds like a major chord if you are familiar with the sound of a major chord. Suppose I want to create a major chord starting from A. then I go with the structure of 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to need a C sharp, and then I'm going to need another note somewhere here, and that's going to be from here 0, 1, 2, 3, and it's going to be E. So if I play A, C sharp and E, that would sound like a major chord. Let's see if it's true. Well, it sounds like a major chord to me. Now suppose that I want to start, for example, from a B flat, an E flat. Remember, I usually don't mix flats with sharps, so what we're going to do, we're just going to always we have a chance of using a black note using the flat instead of a sharp. In this case we have a flat here, and then we're going to keep a consistency with that, and we're going to keep using flats. For example, from here I go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, then it's going to be a G, and then from here I got 3 other semitones, 0, 1, 2, 3, and that's going to be a B flat. So if I play E flat, G and B flat, that's going to sound like a major chord. Now we're going to build a minor chord starting from, say, B flat. And from B flat we start counting 0, 1, 2, 3, and then we have this one, which is I'm not gonna call it C sharp because I prefer not to mix flat with sharps. That is very clear when you start working a lot with composition and harmony and all the stuff. You get used to very much not mixing sharps and flats in an unnecessary way, but at the moment just take as a rule, don't mix sharp with flats. Then from here we can count 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have F here. So with that we have the minor chord starting from B flat. In other words, the B flat minor chord is going to sound like this. Suppose I want to build the major chord out of it. Remember, the major chord goes 4, 3 instead of 3, 4. It's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it's going to have a D instead of a D flat, and then 0, 1, 2, 3, the F again. So the root and the fifth, I mean the top note of the chord are always going to be the same in the minor and major chord. It's just the middle one that changes. Now we can talk about the diminished chord, and say we go from C and we're going to build a diminished chord from there, but we need a structure for that. The structure for the diminished chord is going to be 3, 3, 3 semitones, another 3 semitones. For example, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to have a E flat, and then 0, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to have the G flat, and that is going to sound like this. So that is a typical sound of a diminished chord. Compare with the major chord, compare with the minor chord, then the diminished chord. Now, knowing that the diminished chord has a 3-3 structure, if we build one diminished chord starting from B, look what happened. I've got 0, 1, 2, 3, this is D, 0, 1, 2, 3, and this is F. and that is I want you to come with this because this is a special case I'm going to play for you, in which by playing only white notes you can build a diminished chord. Now the last chord that we're going to see is going to be the augmented chord, and it's also, as I say, augmented fifth chord, and there is a reason for that, because the extreme notes of a augmented chord form a fifth, but that fifth is augmented. That is for people that understand about intervals. We're not going to go there. We're just going to call it augmented chord, and we're just going to understand the augmented chord goes with a structure of 4/4. As you see, it's just these four chords we are talking about, the minor, major, diminished and augmented, are all based in a combination of 3 and 4, or 4 and 3, or 3 and 3, or 4/4 semitones. Now, let's say we start the game from C, and which is the favorite key for anybody that wants to learn about music, because that can be transferred to all other keys. Okay, here we go. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have here E, and then from here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, this is gonna be a G sharp. See how it's going to sound. It's gonna sound like this. Okay, so let's compare the sounds of a major, the minor, the diminished with the augmented. The funny thing is that, for example, I start from, say, the other G sharp, the one from here, G sharp, G sharp. This only happens with the diminished chord, the augmented chords. If I start from G sharp and I start counting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, I've got C again, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can start from here, from G sharp, and I still have the same set of notes forming the chord. And suppose I start from, say, I just need my magic cloth to erase things because my finger doesn't work on this kind of surface. If I start from E, for example, I've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have the same set of notes. So if I want to build the augmented chord starting from F, so that's going to be one semitone after the E, that's going to be also one semitone after, and then C is going to be replaced by the C sharp. Or I would prefer to say A, B, C, yes, C sharp, C sharp. Then it's going to sound like this, which is another augmented chord. Okay, now I'm going to give you something to do. It's just I'm going to play some chords, and you have to try to guess which one of the four chords I'm playing. I'm not only playing C now. I'm not playing any. The chords I'm going to play are not necessarily starting from C or based on the root of C. It could be anywhere on the keyboard, but I'm just going to play any of the four kind of chords, and you try to, if you are not familiar with this is going to be good exercise. For many of you it's going to be perhaps too easy, but in that case just skip this part. But for example, what chord is this? That is a major chord. What type of chord is this? That is an augmented chord. How about this one? That is a diminished chord. How about this one? That is minor chord. How about this one? That is a major chord. Okay, I'm keeping the structure on this one. The chords could be presented in different ways. For example, a more complicated way. For example, that is a major chord. I'm adding no notes to it. All the notes I'm playing are part of that set that we discover, but some of the notes are duplicated. For example, F sounds twice. This is an F major, by the way. F sounds twice here and here. C sounds twice here and here, and we only have one A somewhere there. So this is an F major chord. I'm going to give you in the same situation a minor version of it. Okay, the diminished version of it. Okay, or the augmented version of it. Okay, in other words, the major chord has the structure of 4 and 3 semitones. The minor chord has a structure of 3, 4. The diminished chord has a structure of 3 and 3. And the last combination is the 4, 4 that forms the augmented chord. Okay, thank you for watching.